You know how fashion is always kind of like constantly changing?
Mm.
1 minute it's all about, blending in, and then the next minute, bam! Everyone's like peacocking around in these bold colors and designs that just like really catch your eye.
Mm.
And lately I've been seeing this everywhere with jewelry. It's not just like simple pieces anymore. It's like people are really using their jewelry to make a statement. Have you noticed this too?
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely a shift. And yeah, you're right. It is about more than just the way it looks. Like, there's a reason why this whole trend, what they're calling maximalist jewelry, is just like exploding right now. It's like we're all craving these ways to express ourselves more openly, you know what I mean? Especially in a world where we're like living so much of our lives online.
Totally. It's like your jewelry is becoming this like amazing conversation starter in real life. It's like your statement piece when you're actually face to face. So to really like dive into this whole maximalist jewelry thing, we are taking a deep dive into this article from Vanessa Jane.
Okay.
It's called The Rise of Maximalist Jewelry: How to Embrace the Bold Accessory Trend of 2024.
Oh, Vanessa Jane. They're a great choice for this. They always have their finger on the pulse of what's trendy and affordable.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. Like, they have their finger on the pulse of what's cool, but also what's actually attainable,
Yeah, okay.
But before we get into the like how-to, the styling tips, all of that, let's just like define what we're actually talking about here. What is maximalist jewelry?
Well, the article had a great definition. They basically said it's just about going big. It's like really big, thick, chunky earrings that could like double as art pieces, oversized necklaces that just like command attention when you walk into a room, layers and layers and layers of like unique pieces. It's the complete opposite of that minimalist jewelry trend we saw a few years ago, remember? All those like dainty little necklaces and barely heard their earring.
Oh my gosh, yes. I remember thinking those tiny earrings were like gonna get lost in my hair. Like, what was the point?
Right.
This is like the opposite end of the spectrum. Like, it's bold, it's creative, it's definitely not for like wallflowers.
Exactly. And I think that's part of the appeal, isn't it? Like, the article was talking about it being this like explosion of creativity. And I totally agree. It's about embracing these really vibrant colors, mixing different materials, like metals and textures, and just not being afraid of those really intricate designs.
Okay, so it's bold, it's creative.
Yeah.
But how do you actually wear maximalist jewelry without looking like you just raided like a costume shop? Because it can be intimidating.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, where do you even begin?
Yeah, the article had some really practical advice on that, which I appreciated because I think a lot of people are wondering the same thing. And you'll be happy to hear it doesn't have to be totally overwhelming.
Okay, good.
Like, they actually recommend starting small, especially if you're like new to this whole maximalist thing.
Baby steps. I like it.
Right. So, for example, instead of piling on, like, every single piece of jewelry you own, choose one statement piece. Like, just one, maybe it's a pair of those like oversized earrings we were talking about, and then pair it with a really simple outfit. Just let the jewelry be the star of the show.
Okay, yeah, that makes total sense. Like, let your personality shine through, but like one amazing piece at a time.
Exactly. And then as you kind of get more comfortable playing with it, you can start experimenting with layering, which is where it gets really fun.
Ooh, layering. Okay, see, that's where like my brain goes straight to fashion disaster. But the article made it sound surprisingly like approachable.
Right. And it's really not as complicated as it seems. Like, at its core, it's basically just combining necklaces of different lengths.
Yeah.
So, maybe you have like a choker, and then you pair that with a longer pendant, or you can mix metals, which, by the way, can look really, really chic if you do it right.
Ooh, tell me more about mixing metals. Okay, because that feels like that's where I get like a little unsure, like what goes with what.
Yeah, totally. Well, you've got your classics, like silver and gold, which actually look amazing together, especially if you can find a piece that combines both.
Right.
But then you can also get really playful with rose gold, copper, even gunmetal. Like, those kind of darker metals can add a cool edge to like a more delicate piece.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
See, that's what I like. That's what I love. You have those like timeless combinations, but then there's also room to play with, like the edgier stuff too.
Totally. And then don't forget about textures.
Oh.
The article mentioned like mix, those chunky chains with more delicate pieces, or even like throwing in a strand of pearls for like a bit of unexpected elegance.
Pearls. Okay, that's a curveball I did not see coming.
Right. It's about finding that balance, I think, between like the bold and the refined.
Okay.
And even when you are layering, the article really stressed the importance of letting the jewelry be the star.
Yeah.
So just like we were saying before with that one statement piece, like choose simpler clothing as kind of a neutral canvas for your bold accessories to really pop.
Okay, so we've covered the why behind the trend, the basics of like how to style it.
Right.
But like the article got me really excited about all the different types of jewelry that you can like play with in this trend.
Yes.
What were some of the like standouts for you?
Well, we talked about earrings and necklaces a bit, but they also highlighted like chunky bracelets and statement rings as kind of like must-have pieces. And I have to say, I'm here for it.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Bracelets and rings are so fun to like play with. Did they get into specifics at all?
They did. For earrings, oversized hoops were a big one, which, I mean, those never really go out of style.
Right. Classic.
But then they also mentioned geometric shapes and, get this, chandelier designs.
Chandelier earrings. Oh my gosh, yes. Okay. I saw the coolest pair the other day at like this vintage market. They were like these amazing silver pieces with like turquoise stones, almost like little dream catchers.
So cool.
I was like mesmerized.
Yeah. See, they're statement pieces for sure. And then with necklaces, the article really emphasized kind of having fun with different lengths and like mixing and matching chains and pendants. Just, you know, don't be afraid to get creative and personalize it.
Totally. Okay, I'm getting inspired. Did they have any tips for bracelets? Because I feel like that's another one that can like go overboard easily.
Yeah, they did. They said like, think bangles, cuffs, chain bracelets, and they were not afraid to like pile them on.
Right.
But again, it's all about balance. So you might do like a stack of more delicate chains on one wrist and then a single like bold cuff on the other.
I like that. So it's like playing with the visual weight almost.
Exactly. Exactly. And then finally they said, you know, no maximalist jewelry collection is complete without some statement rings.
Oh, for sure.
They specifically called out like oversized rings with like gemstones or unique designs, and they even suggested wearing like multiple on one hand. The more the merrier.
Yeah. It's giving like very regal, but also maybe I'll steal your throne vibes.
Yes.
Okay, so we've talked about like casual looks and stuff, but is maximalist jewelry something you can wear like every day? Or is it more for like special occasions?
Well, the article actually addressed that.
Okay.
And you'll be happy to hear they think it definitely can be incorporated into your every life. It's more about like adapting the boldness to the occasion, you know.
This is less about the what and more about the how.
Exactly. So for example, you might pair like a chunkier bracelet with like a more tailored blazer for the office.
Oh, okay.
Or, you know, rock a statement necklace with like a simple t-shirt and jeans outfit to make it more casual but still chic.
Totally. Okay, I can see it now, like a chunky silver ring with a big old turquoise stone on it, paired with like my favorite band tee and a blazer. Boom. Instant style upgrade.
Exactly. And you can even like have fun with it for like more formal events. You know, imagine like a sleek black dress, but then you add a statement necklace.
Ooh, yeah.
It just adds this like unexpected edge to a classic look.
I love that. It's like, I came to impress, but I'm also wearing this incredible piece of art around my neck. Okay, we've covered like styling for different occasions, but I have like a very practical question.
Yeah.
How do you take care of these like bold pieces? Like, I imagine a chunky necklace requires a different like approach than like a delicate chain, right?
Totally, yeah. These bigger pieces definitely need a little bit more TLC. But luckily, the article had like some great tips on that.
Okay, good.
For storage, they were really big on using a jewelry box with like separate compartments.
Oh, yeah.
You know, to prevent things from getting like tangled and scratched.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I can definitely see those like statement necklaces becoming a tangled mess if you just like toss them in a drawer.
The worst. And then when it comes to cleaning, like a soft cloth is going to be your best friend.
Okay.
They recommend gently like wiping down your pieces after you wear them, especially if they've come into contact with like lotions or perfume or, let's be real, a little bit of sweat.
It happens. Okay, but what about pieces with gemstones? I have this like amazing vintage ring with like a huge amethyst, and I'm always terrified to clean it.
Oh, yeah.
Any advice on that?
They actually mentioned that. For gemstones, they suggested using like a mild cleaning solution that's, you know, made for jewelry. And then honestly, if you're ever unsure, you can always take your pieces to a professional jeweler to get a deep clean. It's worth it, especially for those really special pieces.
Yeah, good to know.
Yeah.
I kind of baby my jewelry anyway, but it's helpful to have those like expert tips for sure. This has been such a like eye-opening deep dive. We went from like, what even is maximalist jewelry to like, I feel like we could rock this trend tomorrow.
Right. It's all about finding what speaks to you and having fun with it.
Exactly. And I think that's what I love most about this trend. It's not just about like following the latest fad. It's really about like using jewelry as a form of self-expression.
Yes.
Wearing pieces that make you feel confident and like reflect your own personality, your own unique style.
I love that. Couldn't have said it better myself.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into the bold and beautiful world of maximalist jewelry, here's something to think about. What story do you want your jewelry to tell? Don't be afraid to like experiment. Find those statement pieces that like really light you up and rock them with confidence. Because at the end of the day, like the best accessory you can wear is your own unique style.